That's alright, Mama. That's alright with you. That's alright, Mama. And just in the way you do. That's alright. That's alright. That's alright now, Mama. Anyway, do. Come on, man. Can you feel the pain? Into him now. About this new world. Ain't no train. Papa's got a brand new eye. Purple haze in my brain. Lately, just always seem the same. Acting funny, and I don't know why. Excuse me while I kiss the sky.
Welcome to the Don't Unfriend Me show. Matthew Spear running solo tonight. Leroy got work, military. You know how it is. Folks, do me a favor. Please share this out. Like, share, and subscribe. All that type of stuff. Want a compelling reason to have a very good night on this show and stay here tonight. It's one of those nights, you know. It's Thursday, and I'm kind of like, I don't want to be here. But I've got something good prepared for you, so we'll do that. But then it happens once in a while. You get that, I just don't want to do it tonight. You know what I mean? So we need to share the hell out of this. We need to get a lot of people. And it's not that, I think it's because I haven't been to church in 2 weeks. You know what I mean? And the negativity is getting me down a little bit. And church allowed me to kind of go in there and reset and recalibrate. But last weekend I was with Ethan at the Broncos game. We were here, and I didn't want to be alone. And he felt bad about missing church, and I said, dude, it's okay. It's an England game. I'll be there with you. And I was. And then the following week we didn't go because we had a crazy thing with his grades, and it really impacted. So I just need to go to church on Sunday, and I'll be right as rain. But let's have a good night. Let's make it happen. Let's rock and roll. I'll see y'all in 3 minutes. Be right back.
Do you want the truth? Are you tired of being so confused? You feel like you're more fucked up than the lies on the evening news? Well, just step right in. We can talk about it all as friends. And if you want, we can hug and kiss and make up for the party ends. Agree or disagree, start offering me. 'Cause I'm everything you want, damn sure what you need. I won't tell no lies, back up all the facts with truth. And if you can't get down with that, you must be somebody's stuff.
Hey everybody, it's T.S. Dixon, author of The Woke Mind Viruses. And I want to tell you that I'm pleased to be part of The Dumb Show, the Don't Unfriend Me show that you can find every weeknight at 7 p.m. on social media at The Dumb Show or on their website, thedumbshow.com. See you there.
Adjusting transmitter output.
This is the Don't Unfriend Me show with your hosts, Matt, Leroy, Amy, and Olivia. Geopolitics, military analysis, and election coverage. Coming to you live on all major social media channels at The Dumb Show. Honest, direct, unfiltered. We can agree, we can disagree. Just don't unfriend me.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Don't Unfriend Me show. I hope everyone's doing well. It's there's a lot going on. I mean, it's kind of crazy. Let's do the checklist type of stuff first. First of all, you can go to thedumbshow.com and pick up all shirts, hats, anything you see on the show, whether it's cups or books or jackets or anything else or coffee. Everything is top of the line, 5-star, and everyone loves the stuff. That's pretty much it. I think we have 2 negative reviews on the site, maybe 3. 2 of them are people thought 1 was the best. I don't understand that. And I've tried to get Santana and a couple of other people to fix it, but they haven't. But that's okay. And the other guy was just, well, you know, I really don't understand. Your shirt looks like it's going to go ahead and shrink. Did it shrink? No, but it looks like it's going to. I said, well, then maybe you should put it on and wash it and see how that works out for you. And in 2 years, when your shirt looks exactly the same and is the most comfortable t-shirt you own, you can call and apologize and fix the damn score. You don't need to be a jerk about it. Oh, well, I think we established who is the jerk long before that. I mean, this is my business. I take my stars seriously. I want 5 stars on everything. And if it's not, we'll fix it and make it happen. So go to thedumbshow.com and do that. Speaking of that, you can also go to thedumbshow.com/donate. We are 100% paid for by you. We don't have corporate sponsorships. We don't go ahead and do that. We're not selling out to the man. We simply just give you our opinions here. We bring people on. We have great conversations. And speaking of that, Tuesday night, we will have Pastor Gil here, who is my pastor, who is one heck of a good dude. And can't wait for you to meet him and just have a conversation. Just a conversation, a talk, just to say hello and learn about him, what he has done to get where he's at, and what's it like to be in a congregation? What's it like to see Christianity back on the rise? It should be a very spiritual and detailed conversation. Our first one that we had together was 3 hours in his office, and man, was it great. I hope everyone is doing well. I hope things are good. Olivia is not here tonight. It is just I, Matthew Spear. And I want to start off with just this. And to be completely transparent with you, I'm not happy because, like, I'm realistic. When it came to 2014, 2006, I wasn't happy with Republicans. And I just got out of politics. I just focused on work. And even though I talked about politics occasionally, I just got sick and tired of the Republican Party pretending that they weren't neoconservatives, that they weren't warmongers, that they weren't all about never-ending wars and spying on Americans and just shills and Obama with a different tag, because they were. And we can sit here and pretend, because on every major platform, they buckled to Obama. They gave him everything they want because they were afraid to be called racist and, you know, and anti-Muslim and all this other crap. And they were terrified of it. They were so scared of it. And Donald Trump gave people permission not to give a shit what people say anymore. And that is a gift that he has given to a lot of Republicans and a lot of Christians who were always like, well, we got to play nice and get along. We've got to, you know, be like Jesus would be. Well, Jesus flipped tables. Jesus broke out the lashings occasionally. He salted an entire city. I think, you know, he raised some issues once in a while. And Christians are, oh, we can't cuss. We can't get mad. We've got to stay Christian-like. No, you know what? No, we don't. Not anymore. And I'm tired of it. I'm tired of us, because honestly, since 2016, okay, there are a few things I'm not too proud of. I'm not going to lie. There's things that we've done, we've expanded on. The Patriot Act, I'm not really happy about that. I wasn't really stoked on J6. I wasn't really involved and loved the whole stolen election bullshit. But when we won in 16, we lost in 20. We won in 2024. It's amazing how quickly elections work again when you win. And I'm exhausted by it. I'm just completely exhausted by that conversation. And I almost am like just remiss that I'm going to be talking about election results tonight, because honestly, usually it's my Super Bowl, but I kind of feel jaded right now. I just like, what are we going to do when some Sears loses? The election was stolen. No, it wasn't. It's that the GOP didn't put up a fight, and they didn't put up a fight in New York. And the only one who's putting up a fight is in New Jersey. And that's it. And we're going to lose. Because once again, the Northeast, we don't go after it. We leave it as some sort of sacred stronghold. And, you got guys like Scott Pressler out there who are palming hands and knocking doors. Well, it should be tens of thousands of people knocking doors in Virginia, knocking doors in Pennsylvania, knocking doors in New York and New Jersey, but it's not going to happen. That's how Donald Trump was so successful, and his coattails were successful in 2024. And we saw it trickle in New Jersey and New York. We'll keep up with that trend. Could we have won New York with a bona fide Republican candidate? Yes. Most assuredly, the numbers stated that it was possible. Is it worth pumping $150 million into it for a mayoral seat? No. But is it worth getting a candidate who could go in there and do the job? Now, Sliwa has all of the things that he needs to have to be successful, except the temperance. And I'm going to say it tonight. I like the guy, but he's not what you need for New York, because he can't disguise his hand. I'm going to show you some things on Mamdani tonight. You're not going to like it. The guy's a socialist, Muslim, extremist douchebag. But I'll tell you what he's not. He's not charismatic. And just like AOC, he is absolutely going to win. And the reason he's going to win is because he's charming as hell. And that switch only happened about 90 days ago, because he was this quiet kind of a loser. All the negativity came out from the river to the sea, shouting down people, shouting down Tom Homan, wearing a mask and saying, extremist type language towards Jews, all this. He was an activist. But then somebody came up to him and said, bro, and AOC had a huge impact on him, pulled him to the side and said, you need to win him with honey, and then you can poison the well water. But right now, you've got to be sweet and use your charming good looks and those deep brown eyes and that beautifully articulated beard and get voters. And that's what he did. And he's going to win. And that's not what anyone wants to hear. Nobody wants to hear. I don't want to hear that, because I've got friends in New York. And New York's going to suffer with this guy's policies, but I'm telling you what he has. And it is the slick Persian bazaar manner that these guys produce these results. And I'm warning you, Gavin Newsom's one of them. Gavin Newsom is a huge proponent of Mamdani's style, and he's good at it. And it doesn't matter what he did to California. Women vote for John F. Kennedy types. And that's the problem. Sliwa has the policies. Sliwa has the energy. Sliwa has the mentality. He would be an excellent New York. He would clean up crime, and he would be fantastic. But he doesn't have what Mamdani has, which is the smile, the temperance, the charm, and the political stunts like Pete Buttigieg. And if you don't think Buttigieg, and you don't think Newsom, and you don't think AOC, and you don't think the Obama secondhand person who ran elections for him in 2016 didn't talk to Mamdani and say, hey, buddy, you got to stop the rhetoric, and you've got to kind of use your young boyish charm to eat your rice with your fingers and actually take a bus to the debate. It's genius. It's genius, and it's marketing that absolutely works. It works, and it works so well that you have a radical Muslim going to win the mayoral race in a place that was literally with 2 jets flying in and killing thousands from a Muslim extremist group, and he's going to win the mayoral race. This is how charming this guy is. And whether you like it or not, this is the truth. And Republicans better figure it out. Because I'm telling you, if you think it's not possible to change your image with a smile and good looks, let me tell you about the Netflix special, the Ted Bundy special that was trending a year ago, where all teenage girls and 18-year-olds and college girls went and watched the Ted Bundy Netflix special and thought he was gorgeous and started saying nice things about him. And oh my God, hey, hear me out type language. Yeah, I know he's a serial killer, but hear me out. It's amazing what can be done with just a simple smile and a little bit of charm. And Youngkin proved that. Youngkin came here, and the thing is Youngkin had charm and Youngkin had balls. And he can't run again in Virginia, and now you have Winsome Sears, who honestly is a beautiful, kind, loving woman, Marine, immigrant lover, but she doesn't have it. She doesn't have that nonstop charismatic pull that people follow. She's amazing. I'd love to. A perfect example is they won't release her on us. It's the same reason why they wouldn't release Hung Cao, who also is a great guy. EOD, Navy, mad respect for the commander. Mad respect for Hung Cao. But he wouldn't sit with me. Brandon Michon sat with me because Brandon Michon was charismatic, was polished, and had that it factor. He had the it factor. So the Republicans need to stop sitting back and not fighting in these areas when it comes to people who can win. Byron Donalds would be a fantastic candidate to put into New York and run a Senate race, even a mayoral race, maybe even governor. A fantastic, Florida. Florida's red. It can limp into an election and win. If you want to go in the deep blue areas that are showing signs of purple, you've got to put the elite of the elite, the best of the best, the charming people in place. We don't do it. Now, Sliwa is great, but is that the best Republican we could get? That's the best? No, that's not the best. Sliwa would make an amazing strategist. Jennifer McCarver donated $15. I'll kick off the donations tonight. Thank you, Jen. He would make a great strategist. He would make a great prepper for debate. He would make a great person to run for sheriff in a bigger city. He would be a fantastic person to work for Donald Trump on street crime and using rehabilitation type programs for inner city youth. That's his MO. He's great on that. Or start doing the buddy watch system or the neighborhood watch system and reinstituting it into these impoverished neighborhoods like it was in the 80s and it was so effective for us. Whatever it is, that's his MO. That's his modus operandi. Okay. But what it isn't is getting up on stage and not getting into a dick measuring contest with the Democrat. And that's what he's doing. The problem is his opponent, it isn't Cuomo. Cuomo's not winning. His opponent is Mamdani. And he doesn't talk about Mamdani enough. Now he's starting to, and he crushed in the debate last night. He's great at one-liner. He's a street guy from York. We get it. He's tough. He's quick-witted. I love the guy. But if you can't talk policy and you can't go ahead and lay out your strategic plan, you're not going to sell people on it. No matter how charming you are, you've got to have some substance. And the thing about this Muslim extremist in New York is that he pushes the right buttons and he says the right things. No, it doesn't matter that he can't pay for it. It doesn't matter that none of this is going to happen. It doesn't matter that he's going to expand illegals and make New York even more of a sanctuary city and put progressive DAs, and crime's going to go up. Real estate properties are going to go down because people are going to move out. We know all these things, but they don't care. So I've got a little piece of paper here, and I don't think you're going to get too excited about it, but I've been cracking the numbers. And are these my final? Yeah, I guess. I was going to wait to the 25th. So these are my preliminary finals. But right now, I've broken down the trends. And I'm going to do this. 112 on. Come on, folks. Let's get them on. Let's get them shared. This is good stuff. You don't get me solo very often. Everyone goes, oh, I love Matt's solo shows. They're fire. Well, then let's spread the fire a little bit. Here are my odds and predictions thus far. Spanberger in Virginia versus Winsome Earl Sears. It's been consistent single to low double digit gaps. There's a huge money edge in Virginia. You got a super chat from Nancy Jennings, $5. My pumpkin I made into Trumpkin, would love it. Oh, you better send it to me. Send me a picture, Nancy. Matt@thedumbshow.com. Send it. I want to see it. I want to see your pumpkin. Don't take that. If Mr. Jennings is listening, I don't want to see Nancy's pumpkins. Not plural, her pumpkin. But I'm totally down for pumpkins too. Just don't tell Liv. Really the big thing, the two biggest things in this election in Virginia are cost of living and abortion. Republicans are never going to win on abortion here. You're just not going to win. And cost of living right now, it's a toss-up. It really is a toss-up. Prices have gone up under Youngkin. That's just the truth. And the reason why cost of living has gone up is because it's a coveted place to live and property values have increased so high that the cost of living in the COLA index hasn't adjusted. So that's why Virginia is going to be tough. I got it. Oh, I can't believe I'm going to say this. I got to give it to Spanberger. And I'm telling you, one of these days I will meet Winsome Sears and I'm just going to say, ma'am, I can't guarantee if you would have come on my show that you would have won the election. But I'll tell you what would have happened. It wouldn't have hurt you at all. The donations you would receive would help you. I guarantee you're going to get just as much in donations from coming onto my show that you would from a night going to some ballroom and talking to some bingo players. You're going to be spread across 40,000 networks. You're going to get shared on Damani's channel. You're going to get shared on Nunn's channel. You're going to get shared on the Real Texas Conservative channel. You're going to get shared on the Chicks on the Right's channel because they're going to see it and pick it up. You're going to see Stacey Snow pick it up. You'll see Ryan Samuels pick it up. You'll have Ryan Weaver like it. You'll also, here's the thing. You haven't went on Benny or any other shows. You're on Fox. That's it. Fox already knows. Why are you avoiding the podcast? Why is the manosphere, why is it bothering you? It just doesn't make any sense. And it's not just my show. She won't go on any show. It's hard for me to take it personal. But if you don't go on these shows, you're not gonna get any saturation. So really, it's the cost of living and abortion that does it for me. And Spanberger right now, even though I have to admit, August, September, October, Winsome Sears is trending in the right direction. She's around 7% down right now. 7% is a lot though, and the independents are breaking with Spanberger. Because that's what happened. The fucking independents. I'm sorry. I'm a little bit grumpy tonight. I got to go to church. Oh, chapstick on my microphone. Okay. So that's where we're at with Spanberger. And I hate to say it, but the middle of the road people, I can't stand you. Just pick a side. Stop screwing it around. Oh, I don't want to be impartial. Why? Why are you so indecisive? You're the people that can't figure out what you want for dinner. You're the person that goes to college 3 times and then changes your BA in the middle of it because you don't know what you're going to do. So that's where I'm at. Spanberger wins. And I'm going to give that about a 70% chance. Doug says you don't need a church. Doug, you need to watch my channel before you lecture me on God. You would know the story. Come on, Dougie. And just because I cuss doesn't mean I don't know and haven't found Jesus. What a comment. Not in the mood tonight. Not in the comment. What a comment. So if you sin, you haven't found God. By the way, cursing is not a sin. And I'm not cussing at anybody. I'm cussing in frustration. I've had this conversation before. He lest ye be judged. You know what I mean? Okay, I'm done. That's where that's Spanberger 70 to 75%. Not being wishy-washy. She's got a 3/4 of a chance to win. Sears, if Sears can close 2 points without another debate, but I don't know. They've seen Spanberger. They know who she is. She's baked. It's baked into the cake right now. It's baked into the cake. People know who Sears is. They've seen her for 4 years as lieutenant governor. The chances of something big dropping are pretty small. Doug said, I said church. I didn't say I need church to find Jesus. I just said I need to go to church. I want to be near my community. I want to be close to my pastor. I want to sit next to the congregation and feel their positive aura. So I disagree with you. I haven't lost Jesus because I cussed. I want to go to church to kind of refill the, he's got to be a troll. This has got to be balls. See, it's funny because I always can recognize him because that's how it's completely irrational argumentation. Just doesn't make sense. It's just literally like, no. And you're like, what the and that's who it is. Not tonight, you clever man or woman or whatever you are. Gelding. New Jersey. Now this one is close. Ciccarelli has a lot of potential, and this is a very close race. It's 2%. Cheryl has a small lead. It's a small polling lead, and it's been small, and it hasn't really jumped left or right. But it's a strong lead. And it's strong particularly with New Jersey voters when it comes to women. And it's strong with New Jersey when it comes to the youth. But there's also a very large registration advantage, which I've seen, which means voters, if he's not doing well in early turnout, which is he's not, it's actually horrible right now. It's bad. It's like 75 to 25%. Looks like Sears was on Megyn Kelly. Yeah, but that's not the same thing. That's not the same thing. Megyn Kelly is a national personality and all conservative. But Benny Johnson has moderates. I've got moderates. The one obvious guy, subscribe, thanks. So I've got moderates. Yeah, Tom's seeing a lot of stuff in Arizona about Winsome Sears. That's right, but that's because their Facebook marketing person has no idea what they're doing. They're horrible. They haven't targeted their demographic. She should be running in Virginia, Pennsylvania, Maryland, running ads, Carolina. This is where right around here in this area. And the reason why you want to do that is because vacation homes, people sometimes work in those businesses, but you don't do Arizona. There's no reason to do it in Arizona. It's just a waste of money. So I'm going to give Cheryl a 60% advantage right now, 60% that it goes to Cheryl, just because of the mitigating circumstances that I don't know if New Jersey's ready for blue. Now, here's the thing. Ciccarelli had a 5% deficit going from 2022, 2020, 2020, 2021, 2021. So he had a 5% deficit, and he made that a very close race. Now, if he's only down by 2 points, there's a good chance. I'm going to give it 60, but I'll update you on the 25th when I feel a little bit more. But right now, if I was a betting man, it's going to be very competitive, but I think it's Democrat favored. Lieutenant governor in Virginia, Democrat nominee, it has it. Delta is close, but it's going to go the way of the governor race. So if the governor race goes blue, then that goes blue. So if I have to protect that blue, then that's going blue too. But it's interesting, the attorney general race with Mayeris, he's got incumbency, GOP edge, and there's a lot of turbulence with the text threats and the threats of death to from Jay Jones. And that's had a huge impact in the polls. He dropped like 7 points, Jay Jones did. So Mayeris looks like he's going to win. Now, that's attorney general. And understand this. If somebody's going to go ahead and do blue, blue, red, which is what the hierarchy would be on the voting ticket, it would be governor, it would be lieutenant governor, and AG. You got to go blue, blue, red. And most people go down ticket. So there is that. But if people go into that booth going, okay, I know I'm voting for Spanberger, and I know I'm voting for Mayeris, I've got to split my ticket. What am I going to do in the middle? And if they're not keen on Spanberger, which a lot of them aren't, they're not excited about her, then you just might see that carry over in the lieutenant governor race. And they may pick red. We got to see how big these Mayeris and Jay Jones, is that it? I always fuck up his name. That's going to make a big difference. It's going to make a big difference. I live in Virginia, the East Coast, a lot of military, they back Sarah. She's just not shouting loud enough. Right. Well, and also the military predominantly goes Democrat anyway. Donald Trump hasn't won Norfolk. They haven't won V Beach. I went through military training there. We were down there just last month, and it hasn't changed. V Beach is predominantly blue. And a lot of the signage is blue. But I know a lot of military for Sears. You have to win. You got to win V Beach, Norfolk, or at least show up there, because you're not going to win Ashburn. You're not going to win Northern Virginia. You're not going to win Fairfax. You're not going to win Alexandria. And if you lose Alexandria, Fairfax, North Ashburn, Nova, and you lose Virginia Beach and Norfolk, you just kiss it. It's over. It'll be over. It'll be over in 5 minutes. 3% of the vote will go in. They'll call the state. That's how quickly Virginia. And that's the thing. If Virginia holds and polls close and it's still a toss-up in 2 hours, we got a chance. But you're either going to know in 5 minutes or it's going to be close. That's the absolute truth of this. So that's what we hope for. We hope for a long night, because that's going to be better for the Republicans. But understand, a lot of those mail-in and early ballots, they're already going to have an idea of where it's at. They're going to have those pre-counted. So it's something to think about. Folks, we're at $15 tonight. At 133 on. We're already a half hour in. Just wanted to let you know. Let's not forget to keep the donations coming. We'd appreciate it. So that's what I'm thinking. State legislature is all about Virginia General Assembly control. Dems 60-65%. It really depends on, honestly, the Mayeris and the Jones fiasco. That might bleed over too. I'll have a better idea on the 25th. New Jersey legislation control, the structural registration of it and the historical lien of New Jersey, like I'm calling that like 80%. Like 80%. for Dems. I don't see that happening. State Supreme Court and Appellate Court, Wisconsin Supreme seats up in 2025, status quo. It'll be the same. No control flip to date. Louisiana Supreme Court, status quo, same thing. Major local races, New York City Mayor, Mamdani. I'm calling that. I'm already calling it. That's Mamdani's going to win. I'm about as 100% on that as I was that Whitmer was going to win, that Stacey Abrams was going to lose, that Mohammed Oz was going to lose, that Herschel Walker was going to lose, that Majewski, J.R. Majewski in Ohio was going to lose, and that Carrie Lake was going to lose. And I was 100% on all of those, and I was right on every one of those. I'm not going to wait till the 20. I'm a 100% Mamdani's going to win. And I'll tell you why in a few minutes. Listen, and these are probabilities, right? This is me looking at voting demographic. This is me looking at voter trends. This is me looking at all the polls. This is me using my experience with understanding how these states usually break in off election years and when the majority and when the minority are in power and all those things. And that's what I'm feeling right now. Nothing is good about this, but this isn't necessarily a bellwether. These states predominantly outside of Louisiana are blue areas. And you can expect them to go blue. And Virginia is a blue state. It's not purple. It's blue. Just because we have Youngkin. Youngkin was a generational talent. And hopefully you see that on the ticket with J.D. Vance or leading the ticket in 2028. That's where we're at. All right, folks. Let's get into the rest of it. I figured you would want me to do that. I hope you appreciate it. Olivia is pausing donations at this point. So if you're going to get them in, get them in. She's actually getting me yogurt because I've been a good boy. And it's, I've been working out and running and lifting and feeling good. So she thinks I deserve a treat. And plus it's been a long damn week. Yeah. So there you go. There's your predictions. Probably not what you wanted to hear, but that's what you need to hear. Now, let me show you about Mamdani. And let me tell you why it's important. First of all, Eric Adams. Eric Adams was somebody that nobody likes. Nobody likes Eric Adams. Oh, well, he supported Trump in the end and came out. Well, that's because he was getting railroaded by the Democrats. And he wasn't a big fan of the illegal immigration, which Mamdani is just going to expand. But Eric Adams is a shill. He's an absolute shill. And he went out and supported Cuomo today. Now, listen to what I'm trying to tell you. Is Sliwa a great choice? Sure. He's tough. He's straightforward. He's direct. He's no nonsense. He can't be bought. All of those things. Would he be better for New York? I don't know. His policies are too vague. His policies are too. Can he select a staff that will represent Republican focused ethics in New York? And I don't know if he can, because he has spoken out against Trump and he has kind of repudiated some of the conservative viewpoints, and he's a pot stirrer, and that's okay. We want that. We want somebody to go in New York and change things, but we don't want someone to go in New York and just be completely like, oh, I'm doing this. That's the way it's going to be. Here is Eric Adams endorsing Cuomo, which is just, this is just going to hurt even more. This just hurts even more. This isn't going to help him. This isn't going to help Cuomo. Cuomo has no chance of winning because he lost to him in the primary. Nobody's going to all of a sudden start voting for him now that he's in this in a deeper setting. It just makes you even more focused on Mamdani because you don't want him. They repudiated him. They don't want his ass. Here's the video. Listen to this. Oh, let me change the volume. Here it is.
A little breaking news. You got New York City Mayor Eric Adams speaking now alongside independent mayoral candidate Andrew Cuomo. Watch.
Immigrant families are under attack in the city. Working class people are under attack. African Americans and Hispanic families are under attack. Italian and Irish families are under attack. When you give the finger to a statue that's representative to the Italian community, you're saying you don't give a damn. When you tell Jewish residents that you need globalized intifada, you're saying you don't care. When you go after communities and state that you're going to raise their taxes because of their ethnicity, that's what black and brown communities are going through right now. Taxes are higher in their community because of what was done. We're not going backwards, folks. And so this was a grueling time. And yes, am I angry that I'm not the one taking down Zoran, the socialist and the communist? You're darn right I am. But you know what? The city means more to me than anything. And it is time for us as a family to come together.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. So you have two Democrats running who could not beat Mamdani in the primary. It's not going to happen in the general. It's very similar to Kamala Harris. And then our good buddy Scott Lebedo, who I just want to see this. I love this guy. I love his passion. And he's out there and he's stumping for Sliwa, and that's great. And Sliwa's got his beret on and he's out there. That's when he should be wearing it, and at these little rallies. I agree. Patricia Good donated $31 for 40. Thank you, Patricia. Appreciate you. Sliwa should be wearing his beret right now. That's fine. And this is great, right? This is great. It doesn't matter. There is no way Sliwa can win. He can't win. Folks, even if Cuomo completely jumps out of the race, most of those people are going to vote for Mamdani. They're not going to break with Sliwa. That's not the way this works. It's New York. They need a moderate. But Cuomo's not a moderate. They've already seen Cuomo. They've already seen Eric Adams. His endorsement means nothing. Nothing at all. That would be like Joe Biden coming out and endorsing. Nobody cares about Joe Biden. Nobody cares about Hillary and Bill Clinton. Nobody cares about Obama. They're yesterday's news. They're a bunch of boomers. Nobody cares. Scott Lebedo, good for him. Good for him. I'm glad listen, this isn't personal. I would love to have either one of those guys on my show, and I would love to kick back and drink a whiskey with them and tell stories, okay? But his chance of winning, he doesn't have the money. He doesn't have the numbers. He doesn't have the vote prospects. He doesn't have the architecture to win. That's it. It's a great endorsement, and it's awesome to see, but it's too little too late. What you needed was the GOP. What you needed was a good $25 million to $40 million invested into this and raised. You don't have that. You got to have commercials going. You got to be on TV. You got to lose the beret once in a while so you can reach a younger audience. Because honestly, they look at you, and there's not disrespect, but they look at you and they go, "You're Captain Kangaroo." Here's the thing that people have problems when it comes to the Guardian Angels. They felt they're a little too militant and they were over the top sometimes. But when you're wearing a beret, people are going to wonder, are you in the military? And if you're in the military, what are you doing? Why? The story should not be about the beret. Well, it's his trademark, Matt. I don't care, because I'm going to show you why he lost right now after this video, which is a great video, because I love Scott Lebedo. But I'm going to show you why he lost. You're going to listen to me about this and understand that this is the way that Sliwa interacts, and he's got to stop. Here it is.
Let's go, Curtis. I just want to see this Curtis crowd out here, folks. This is all Curtis enthusiasm. There's a handful of Zoomanda suckers and a handful of Cuomo people. A handful. There's your enthusiasm. All right, all you naysayers back in Cuomo, shame on you. Flip your energy to Curtis immediately. We got this. He's the only one that could win. Cuomo cannot beat Mamdani. Curtis, 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 The fever is growing. We have a week and a half. Flip your script, people.
I'd love to see it. I'd love to be wrong. I'd love to be wrong. But here's the problem, is that, listen to my point. Cuomo is running as an independent. Any middle of the road people are going to break with him. The moment that he leaves and say drops out, which why would he drop out? He's got more money than Sliwa. He's got a higher lead than Sliwa. And he is the opposition party. You don't have the GOP backing. You don't have Donald Trump out there. You don't have Donald Trump going out there and you know he talked about Sears and he talked about Citarelli, but he didn't talk about Sliwa. And he's the GOP candidate. Why? Because the GOP gave up on New York. Just 100%. Of course you pray. Listen, okay, folks, my job isn't to lie to you. My job is to tell you the truth and give you my analysis on what I predict is going to happen. Of course you pray. Of course we hope. I would love to be wrong. I would love to see Citarelli win. I would love to see Sliwa win. And I'd love to see Sears win, down ticket red. And then I am the biggest chump in the world. I would love that. And you know what I'm going to do? I got it wrong. First time in 5 years of working with you, 2 elections that I've been wrong. I'll admit it. And I still have till the 25th to make my final predictions. But if I'm basing it right now, listen, New York, I'm sorry. Cuomo can drop out. Sliwa doesn't stand a chance in hell. And if Sliwa drops out, Cuomo doesn't have, because he still doesn't have enough to beat him. Even if Sliwa drops out, it's not enough for Cuomo to catch Mamdani. And I'm talking, he's not even going to be in the margin of error. He's still going to be 7 to 12 points down. We've got to be realistic. Am I saying there's no way? No. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying something would have to happen. An act of God would have to happen. Maybe Scott Lebedo is going to be enough, but I'm just telling you, the reason why Curtis Sliwa turned out that many people is because Cuomo knows it's over and Mamdani already knows they won. That's why. I hate to tell you. And the reason why Sliwa is because he's the only Republican, and they're going to do whatever they can to support their candidate. And it's noble and it's lovely and it's awesome. And I love those people. I'm so excited for those people. That's amazing. But I'm telling you, that's why. And that's just the hard truth of it. My job's to give you the hard nuts. Okay. Now, we need a miracle. Yeah. If you live in New York, you need a miracle. And when people are like, oh, it's going to be good for the Republican Party to see New York fail. No, it's not. New York is important to our country. It is a massive GDP producer. It has an amazing culture. And yes, it's run by scumbags right now, but New York is a city. And it's a big city, just like Los Angeles. Does that mean all people in California deserve to have pain? No, because not all Californians suck. I've got my family out there. I live there, for God's sakes. And I've got a lot of friends in New York who I love and adore. And upstate New York is not Manhattan. But see, Carrie, I know Cuomo and Sliwa ripped into Mamdani. Yes, they did. And how wonderful that was. And you know what? It didn't make a lick of difference. They already know he hates Jews. They already know he's got the younger population. 72% of the youth in New York are voting for him. You can't win. You can't win. The votes aren't there. You don't have massive turnout in New York on day of elections. It's a big city. Most people vote early. Dick Morris said that Curtis Sliwa has a chance to win the New York City mayoral election. In interviews with Newsmax on his website, Morris emphasized that Sliwa is the only candidate showing real momentum. He pointed out that Sliwa's polling numbers rose from 9 to 19%, while other candidates like Zohran Mamdani and Andrew Cuomo remained flat. That's what I read. Yes. Yes, because Sliwa is getting in the news now. He's there. Okay, so this is where the straight poop comes in. He won't drop out. That's why the attention he's getting. And there are people who are listening to his message, but he's not polling at a true 19%. That's impossible. Because if we look at the polling numbers, I'll show you where we're at. And I know, and I know that Newsmax said that, but I'll put my record against Newsmax any day of the week. And Sandy, I know you're just telling me. I don't want to spend too much more time on this because we got a lot of show to do. Here are the poll numbers. Mamdani leads with 43% of registered voters. Sliwa's at 10. Andrew Cuomo is at 24. Now, that's in the Hill poll. Another poll is the Marist University poll. That has 45% for Mamdani, 17% for Sliwa, and 24% for Cuomo. If you go back in the Democratic primary and go back to June, Mamdani had 46, Cuomo had 33, and Sliwa had 15. So what's happening is Cuomo is bleeding, and they're jumping over into Sliwa's camp because there are Republicans there. He's going to poll at around an 80-20 split between Cuomo and Mamdani because of Republicans. But the only reason why Mamdani's not at 75%, kiddo, is because Cuomo's in there. You pull Cuomo out of there, Sliwa's going to gain 5%, and the other 20% is going to jump over into Mamdani's camp. It increases Mamdani's lead. It doesn't hurt it. That's my point. So remember, you have two Democrats running against Sliwa. So that's where you're seeing it. So if Cuomo drops out and you give it to Sliwa, you're going to see most of those people go to Mamdani. That's just the way it's going to be. It's not just a miracle. It would take New Yorkers to wake up, and that's not going to happen because you have too many Muslims and you have too many young people. That's the truth. That's the truth. The demographic is in favor of Mamdani, just like it was. You have too many immigrants. You have too many people who were allowed to come into that country or come into that state and influence that state and turn it over. Remember, this is a mayoral race. This isn't a governor's race. These are the people who went ahead and Donald Trump couldn't get a fair trial. 90% of these districts voted for Joe Biden. Do you understand? 90%. And you think they're going to jump for Sliwa? This is Manhattan, folks. Just trust me on this, okay? At least until I tell you on the 25th when I've completely finished. But that's where we're at. Now, this is Sliwa, and I'm not knocking on Sliwa, man. I'm telling you, I'm not knocking on the guy. I'm just saying I want you to listen to this conversation. You've got a major radio influencer. And there's no picture here. It's just audio, so you're going to have to deal with it. And he fights, and I love that he fights. I love that he fights. That means the world to me. But you got to pick your battles, and it's not on the radio. And this guy's just browbeating him. Guy on the left on the yellow shirt. Doug Stockton, if you're not who I thought you were, I apologize. We got a massive troll that I have been arguing with against. And I didn't take it too personal. I need to go to church. Just need to be with my people. Here it is.
So far, you've been on this show for 8 minutes, and all you've talked about is Cuomo. And I know you hate him. And I'm going to be honest with you, Curtis, because we've been friends for a long time. I don't feel like you're running against Mamdani anymore. I really don't. This hatred for Cuomo, which you've got 100 times over, like Janice Dean has enveloped you to the point where I think you're losing sight of who you're running against. Cuomo's not in first. He's not in first. You have to leapfrog Cuomo to beat the guy in first. I go to your page, I got to go 12 goddamn tweets before I see Mamdani's name. This obsession with Cuomo has to stop. He's not winning. You can beat Cuomo and still lose the election.
Correct.
8 minutes in, you haven't mentioned Mamdani once. Why?
Let me tell you, I'm talking to WABC now. I'm hurt. I have armed security guards now protecting my life and Nancy's life. I've been bribed by the billionaires to drop out of here. If anything happens to me, or anything happens to my wife because of this frenzy that I hear constantly coming from some of your colleagues here at WABC. It's on you guys and you gals. That my life is on the line here, Sid. My wife, Nancy, was never harmed anybody, who only cares about people and animals, is under threat now. Even when the Gottis and Gambinos put a hit on me, 5 hollow point bullets, I never had armed security. The frenzy that is coming out of people's mouths. And then you'll have influencers come on. Hey, what a great job they did. After October 8th. By the way, who was outside with you at Cooper Union soon after when Jewish kids were being attacked in the library by the Palestinian mob? I was with the Guardian Angels. There were only 40 people there. Where were all the influencers?
Who has said that a million times? I don't protect the influencers. I kill the influencers. And I give you credit for that all the time. All the time. You were out there at Cooper Union.
Let me suggest one thing.
Yeah.
You've had on that young lady, that conservative influencer, Emily Austin.
No, she hasn't been on in a while.
Right. You better talk to her. She created Hot Girls for Cuomo on Tuesday. Didn't even secure the domain.
Yeah.
Somebody else grabbed the domain and put up all the sexual harassment charges of Andrew Cuomo.
Yeah.
He's running a horrible campaign, Sid. Can you at least acknowledge that?
No, I don't know, because I want you or him to win. Now we're 10 minutes in, and you're still talking about Cuomo. I mean, what's wrong with you? You got to beat Mamdani. You got to get over whatever your friends are in Middle Village or Staten Island or Brooklyn, F. Cuomo, F. Sid. You got to get over it. You're going to lose, and you're going to lose badly, embarrassingly.
You know this. You're the one who said that Cuomo would win the primary, didn't you?
No. First, yes, I did, and everybody else, because nobody saw Mamdani coming.
That's right.
So stop with the Cuomo.
I saw Mamdani
Curtis,
coming.
I talked to you yesterday. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. I spoke to you yesterday, and you said to me.
Listen, from one stubborn human being in me to another, you got to listen to people. They don't have to change your mind. You don't have to agree with them, but you should at least listen to them. And that's the one thing I can do. I can listen. Cuomo caused this. If Cuomo would have stayed out of this, it would have been a clear-cut case. Once Mamdani was absolutely in the clear, he should have bowed out, but he went independent and he split the vote. It is the Ross Perot two-step. It is the Jill Stein two-step. It is the Jerry Brown two-step. This is what happens. You can't throw an independent in the middle of a race when it's this volatile and expect not to hurt one or the other candidate. And right now, Cuomo is killing Sliwa, but it doesn't matter even if he drops out because Mamdani has the votes, even if Cuomo drops out, because Cuomo did damage. Cuomo did damage, and the damage is done. The people who do not want Cuomo and don't want COVID-era restrictions and frivolous spending and progressive DAs and crime have run away from Cuomo into Mamdani's arms because falling into Sliwa is just a bridge too far. That is a very hard conversation, and it goes even worse. But that is a friend telling you, STFU, bro, stop talking about Cuomo. Go after Mamdani. And this is why the GOP has left. This is why they're not backing Sliwa. And it's not because he's not a good dude. He's a great dude. But you know what? I would love to talk to him and say, listen, bro. Stay in the race. Do it. It's fine. It's over. But hit Mamdani as hard as you can. Don't go after Cuomo anymore because Cuomo, you're feeding him. Because Cuomo's not acknowledging you, man. And this is the thing about politics. If you acknowledge the guy in last, you're screwing up. Take a look at Bill Clinton's election. Take a look at how that worked. You had a first place guy for governor talking about Bill Clinton in 5th place and addressing him. And he literally just would not shut up. And Clinton kept egging and punching in radio shows and getting him to talk about him. And he propelled Clinton into third and carried him into the primary for the next batch of primaries. And once Clinton got on camera, once Clinton started getting the interviews, once he was on Arsenio Hall with a saxophone, people were like, wait a second, who's this fucking guy? We love him. That's what happened with Mamdani. Because nobody saw him coming. Because you didn't focus on the policy. You focused on the candidates. Donald Trump didn't focus on the 16 people who ran against him in 16 and the 21 who did in 2020. No, reverse those numbers. He didn't focus on them. He focused on destroying them in the primary. But once the general started, he didn't go back and start talking about Marco Rubio. He didn't talk about Crazy Ted. Lion Rubio, Lion Little Hands Marco, whatever it was he said. He focused on the candidate he was going to fight, and that was Hillary. And that's what Trump did. He focused on the biggest target. And Ted Cruz in 16 was his biggest target, and he ripped him apart. And if you look at Nikki Haley, he ripped her apart and destroyed her. You look at DeSantis, ripped her apart and destroyed her. Took her out and moved on. He didn't go backwards in time. Oh, Nikki, she's like a bird. What's she doing? Nikki. He focused on Biden. Little Nikki, give her some bird seed. No, he didn't do that. He focused on stumbling Grandpa Joe. Sliwa needs to focus on the guy ahead of him so that guy ahead of him addresses him. And to have Cuomo and Sliwa both hitting Mamdani, it doesn't do him any good because Mamdani, think about it, when everyone's against this one guy, Mamdani just sits there and smiles and goes, these are the GOP talking points. They're afraid to put me in power because they know I'll work for the people. They're both gaining up on me. You got a Democrat and a Republican who are scared of me because the system doesn't want me here. You want me in this seat. Trust me, because I'll go against the system. The system's here and they're fighting me. It's the easiest thing in the world. But if you would hit them on policy and repeat the following, how are you going to pay for that? How are you going to pay for that? And please give me an example of where your policies have worked in the United States ever before. Please walk me through that. Please give me an example of the size of the economy with the amount of people here, with the traffic congestion that we have, with the green bills that you want to propose for emissions. How are you going to put free transportation? How are you going to pay for that? I'm going to pay. No. You're going to tax the billionaires. You're going to increase taxes. That's what you're going to do. You're going to do the same thing New Jersey did. You're going to do the same thing that California did. And you're going to have it hit the consumer. So taxis are going to be more expensive. Renting electric scooters are going to be more expensive. Buying used cars are going to go by the wayside. You're going to increase taxes on this city, and you're going to increase the cost of living in this city where people can't afford it. Rent's already astronomical. Food's already astronomical. Now transportation is going to be astronomical because you're going to go ahead and say that New Yorkers are going to adopt a bus. How are you going to eliminate traffic so those buses are on time? How is someone going to get to 64th and 72nd Street without it taking an hour and 45 minutes? How do you stop the congestion in this city? How do you create more affordable housing? What type of jobs are you going to bring in? These questions need to be asked, and nobody's asking these questions. It's okay to punch someone and slap the little grease ball in the mouth. I'm glad Sliwa's doing it. I'm glad Cuomo did it, but that's not going to win your votes because you know why? The young people are just going to say, look at those old guys picking on this young guy. This is the way my parents were. This is the way my teacher was. This is the way they said in college that people would, the GOP was. Look at them. GOP and Democrats are exactly the same person. They're both old white guys who just hate Muslims. That's what they're thinking. You got to get around that shit. You got to deprogram these people. Talk about things that actually matter to these kids and make your policies better than the guy sitting across from you. And he failed to do that. Here's why Mamdani's going to win.
Good advice.
You're going to hate this. You're going to hate this. And don't get mad at me. Yes, we've got some Candace to do tonight. It's freaking hilarious. This is why he's going to win right here. This one thing right here. If, you've got Kennedy, which would be the Nixon-Kennedy debate. You've got Ronald Reagan versus Mondale, which was the young guy, old guy in the debate line. You've got Hillary Clinton when it was Trump, and he said, yeah, you'd be in jail. These are monumental things that happened in elections that ultimately led them to success. George Bush was actually in his first term, no more taxes. Read my lips, no more taxes. That hurt him in his re-election campaign. That was the deciding factor. Happened years before, but he made a promise and he broke it, and America remembered it. This is Mom Donnie's win right here. This right here, and it's perfect. I'm sick to my stomach to tell you how perfect it is. Watch this.
Is Tish going to be your PC?
Yeah, after Commissioner Tish a job?
Guys, where he's going to talk right at the end.
That's right there, that shot. I love New York coming off of a bus. If you think that that's not perfectly staged, you don't think there were other buses that didn't have I Love You New York on it? Of course there were. And that somebody said, his campaign manager said, right there, see that? See that I Love New York? I want that bus. Make sure that is the cleanest bus you've ever seen in your life. I want no graffiti. I want it to look beautiful. Make sure all the lights are replaced. Shine it, wax it, buff it, make it look gorgeous. I want to see me walk off that bus coming to a debate on New York transportation with I Love New York above me. This right here. This is why he is going to win. It's beautiful optics. It wins elections. He's been doing that for a long time. So there it is. Do I like the guy? No. But I'll tell you what. He's outsmarting his opponents. And this is why we have to be really careful. And the GOP needs to go younger. People tell me to run for office. I'm not young enough for office. If I was 30 years old and I know what I know, maybe. But not now. I look younger than most candidates, so maybe I could do it, but I'm not going to do it. My point is we need the next youth, the Charlie Kirk youth who are now hitting their 30s, 24s, high 27s, 28s. This is the next generation, and the GOP needs to be tapping these people. Okay. Janet, what you see and what other people see are different because you're not looking through that lens. I'm just telling you right there that there's going to be a photo of that. And when he wins, that's going to be the photo on the front page of the paper. I'm just telling you. Okay, let's move on. I want you to listen to this. There is a huge thing happening with the FBI. Folks, we're at $56.40. Holy shit, it's 8:10 at night. I can't do that. So we're going to run a commercial. We have to for donations to see if we can get some. Unless there's a bunch in here that I'm missing. And there's not. Oh, boy. We have run a commercial. So hang tight. We'll be right back. And remember, you can go to thedumbshow.com and donate. I will put up the QR codes here and see if we can get this thing going tonight. Here it is.
Hi, I'm Olivia Spear, host of The Dumb Show. For 3.5 years, we never asked for donations. But after Facebook demonetized us for speaking the truth, we've had to turn to the one thing big tech can't cancel: you.
I'm Hayden, Matt and Olivia's daughter. This show's never chased sponsors or sold out. We've built something honest, and it's thanks to you.
I'm Ethan, their son. Every share, every dollar, every message, you're the reason we can keep calling out the BS and bringing color back to the world going gray.
If you want to help, we take PayPal, Venmo, or snail mail. You can send it to P.O. Box 2, Round Hill, Virginia 20142.
Can't donate? No problem. Just share the show with someone who needs to hear it.
Thanks for helping us stay loud, proud, and completely uncensored. You can donate at thedumbshow.com/donate.
You know what happens when you turn the dial harder? You can make a harder grimace. The harder you grimace, the more effective it is.
You tighten it so frickin' I can't do it. I can't untighten it.
That's what she said.
That's what she's... Oof. Oof. Coming in with it. Pounded. Pounded. Pounded.
Child
Good for you.
15.
Ethan, you look like a hippie.
Told the VTuber.
You know this is recording, right?
Okay, let's go. Smile. Donate. Don't start with me. Donations. Every time you don't smile, I'm gonna punch you in the ribs. Donations. Take one. Scene one. Ready. Set. Ethan.
Break.
Ready. Don't screw it up.
Okay.
Ethan, don't mess this up. Ready. Set. Action. No. Whoa. Director calls action, not some stupid toddler.
But we've built something.
There's no but there. Why do you've been doing this since you were 2 years old? Try it again.
Just share the show with someone who needs to hear it.
He's so much better than you at everything.
Better than
Hayden, he's just like, even, it's just, go ahead, Hayden.
Thanks for helping us stay loud, proud, and completely uncensored.
That's a wrap. Well done, Spear family. I bet we make no money.
But I'm gonna owe them money without.
Hayden, do your thing again.
Oh yeah, cut it.
Baby shark doo 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 doo.
Yep, thank you for your support, everybody. And it would be mucho appreciated for this evening, considering where we're at. I will keep those up for a few more seconds. Hopefully we get it. I don't know if you just saw this today, but Trump had a round table. Hegseth, Bondi, Tulsi Gabbard were all there. And Tulsi Gabbard just, I don't know if you guys saw this, but the FBI just released a massive investigation on illegal sports gambling that was happening between several of the crime families. Why isn't Trump pushing Sliwa? His main hub is Trump Tower in New York. Zoran is saying he's hiking taxes because Sliwa isn't going to win. And Sliwa is not communicating with the GOP. And he doesn't, he's kind of a wild cannon, and he wants to do what he wants to do. But Trump isn't going to tie himself to somebody he doesn't believe in. That's just the way it's going to work. So he just went with Sears because she has a little bit of a chance. But we'll talk a little bit about that in a second. Let's go ahead and watch. This is really disturbing. Of course, Democrats, the party of illegal immigration and supporting illegal immigration, they won't bat an eye at this, but this is pretty rough. But this is the round table. But anyway, the illegal sports gambling, we'll talk a little bit about that. But the FBI announced that multiple crime families across the United States, NBA player Chauncey Billups, a head coach, was arrested. Player was arrested. Multiple people. They were running point shaving, but more importantly, you can bet on things like a player leaves with an injury, and I don't know. I hate betting. I don't even want to talk. I don't even know anything about it. So what I do know is that they bet on everything now. A broken shoelace, for God's sakes. You know, I give plus 800 if someone breaks a shoelace by the third period. All this crap. Quarter, sorry, and no period. First period, first quarter, yes. Second quarter, period. Basketball, I can't stand. I watch it because of Ethan. But anyway, the point is that there was illegal gambling on that, and then they were running poker tables, had X-ray cards and stuff, and cheated and took millions from people. And these NBA players would come in; they were prolific. It would give the game, this illegal game, some reputation as high stakes, high rollers. And they would just rip these people off. So this was huge. That was announced today. But here is Tulsi Gabbard talking about this, which is tragic.
The most insidious was providing intelligence to the Mexican law enforcement that led to the arrest of a CJNG cartel-affiliated baby trafficker called La Diabla. Her whole money-making operation was centered around luring pregnant women, performing illegal C-sections, harvesting organs, and selling newborn babies. Mr. President, it's your leadership that has made all of this possible. I can tell you, in the midst of this government shutdown, our folks, like everyone around this table, are working 24/7 without pay and eager to get after this because they believe in your leadership and the mission that you have presented to them. Thank you, Mr. President. I'll hand this off to Homeland Security Advisor Stephen Miller, the leader of this, the most
it's just absolutely disgusting. Disgusting. So there is an internal memo that was going around in regards to Pentagon and National Guard security forces and creating a National Guard response force that would deploy in April of 2026, all 50 states, National Guard to quash any political unrest or cheating that would take place. That's just horrible, man. People are evil. God. Sorry I moved on so quick. I want to give you the news, but it's just gross. So Pete Hegseth goes ahead and is asked this question. I wanted you to watch this because it's very interesting. I'm going to close the donations. You guys know the donations at this point. We'll see where we're at here when Olivia gets back. Here it is.
Secretary Hegseth, sir, a memo circulating on social media details the establishment of a National Guard response force that's going to be trained in crowd control and civil unrest and deployed in all 50 states by April of 2026. Can you verify the authenticity of that memo, and do you have any more information on the operations?
I'm not going to answer particulars on something that may be in the planning process, but we definitely do have multiple layers of National Guard response forces, whether it's in each state, whether it's regionally, whether it's Title 10 active duty, whether it's Washington, D.C. We've got a lot of different ways that constitutionally and legally we can employ Title 10 and Title 32 forces, and we will do so when necessary.
Pretty clear answer that if there's any civil unrest due to elections, that the Trump administration is ready for it. So you can't have your cake and eat it too, liberals. You can't sit here and say that it was ineffectual for Trump with the insurrection of January 6th, that he didn't respond fast enough. Well, now they have a contingency for all 50 states if there is, in fact, civil unrest. And then sit here and say, oh, he's a king. Listen, I am so sick of the Democrats. Like this ballroom thing, I mean, it's so stupid. I mean, we're going to talk a little bit about it tonight, but how many times do I have to cover this? It's just the most ridiculous. It doesn't matter. I don't even listen to them anymore. The only reason I listen to Democrats is to make funny clips that go viral, so I make money from it. I don't even listen to their bullshit anymore. I don't even defend it. Like when people come on and they're like, Trump's a pedo, I'm just like, yeah, you're an idiot. You're an idiot. You are completely stupid. There's just nothing I can do to help you. So I don't even listen to them anymore because everything they say is just virtue signaling and them getting upset over absolutely nothing. Nothing. Good to see you here, Larry. How are you doing, man? Yeah, like I said, I don't listen to it anymore. I got some good stuff from Tatum here. We're going to go ahead and show you that. And then we got some Candace stuff to show you because it wouldn't be a night without Candace. Trump just doesn't really have confidence in Sliwa. That's it. And neither does the GOP. They've had a very long feud between each other. Jeffrey Styles donated 5 through Super Chat. Here is $5. God bless. Thanks, Jeff. God bless to you too. They haven't spoken in like 10 years. Sliwa has just publicly criticized Trump, and he's not going to endorse somebody who's done that to him. Curtis Morton donated $50. Thanks, guys, for fighting the good fight for the real support. We are in together, real Texas conservative. Thanks, brother. Appreciate you. Thank you. We got to get you on the show, man. You got to get on here. Thank you for the donation. So let's rock and roll. Real Texas conservative, somebody who doesn't watch the show all the time, is donating. There we go. That makes me feel better. Here is Officer Tatum, and I really like this guy. I got to get him on the show, and we have not crossed paths enough. I know. I think he knows who I am. I'm pretty sure. I don't think I'm out of his orbit, but I don't think he knows that I want to get him on the show. So I got to try to do that. So here's the video. And then Candace, listen, if anyone follows Candace ever again after tonight, I don't know what to tell you. Here it is.
Can I say this? Clip this. I'm sick of y'all. For the people out here just shaming Charlie's life, blaming Erica, she not sad enough. Have you ever lost your husband? and you believe in God. Let's put both of them together. You believe in God and you lost your husband. Have you ever had that experience? Because some of y'all talk about y'all Christians, y'all devils. They ain't prayed in 45 years. Talking about you a Christian.
Thank you, Loretta.
And so when your husband...
Because I care and love this show. Come on, Dummies, help. Thank you, Loretta. We love you. We know, and we love you too. Thank you.
Husband die, you a worldly person. So of course you sitting up on a rock crying like this all day. Instead of understanding that God has a purpose that's bigger than your purpose.
See you, Dane.
And you can't sit around whining all day because you got to do God's business. And you're married to a man that would want you to continue on. God. Goodness gracious. I'm sick of y'all.
See, that's what I got to do. I got to learn goodness gracious and not cuss. I was doing so good.
It's dumb. On the internet, just saying whatever come to your head. And then the foul, hateful, demonic individuals that they could do what I do, which means I saw something that's always suspicious. Let me verify it before I come and present it to you.
Do you guys notice that this has changed? Because I'm sorry, who was doing this shtick besides Bongino and me 5 years ago? Can anyone think of anyone else who was really doing this? Damani was good at it. But like Leroy and I have been saying that for 5 years, which is just bring the facts. That's it. Just the facts. Nothing else. No other drama. But Tatum was good at it. Damani was good at it. I know Leroy and I did it. Bongino did it. Benny doesn't do it. Benny just basically gets his GOP talking points and throws them out there. That's his show, and that's the way he is. But it's interesting that more people are doing it now. And good. And this is the way it should be. Just present the facts. Stop the speculation. Stop the drama. Disprove lies. And continue to espouse the truth. It's not hard.
In the form of a question. Oh, it's kind of suspicious that he said the word vehicle. Well, if you look at the traffic stop that he did, when he got into the car accident, he used the word vehicle.
He did.
You don't have text. You don't have phone call evidence. You don't have other communications where you know what lingo he used or not used. So how in the F are you going to make a determination because you don't think he would use vehicle? What are you saying? Go and verify first before you present it to your audience.
Or how about you do this? How about you speak with conviction and clarity? I believe that this is hypothetical. I believe that Charlie Kirk was murdered by Israel, that his wife had something to do with it, and she paid blah, 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 blah to do this, to knock him over so she could get Jew money from contracts. But instead, she doesn't do that. Listen, I'm just speculating here. I'm just asking questions. I'm asking questions. What's the problem? She is a liar. She is evil. The woman is absolutely nuts. And I've recognized it from my own mother. She is, when I say nuts, I'm not using that as some flippant euphemism. She is effing psychotic. I feel for her children. Munchausen by proxy, man. This woman... In my opinion, I'm just asking questions. I'm speculating here. She would hurt her children for attention. That's the type of woman she is. She's nuts. She's wacko. And you know what? She was a leftist long before she wasn't. And I agree with Tatum. She is an absolute disgrace. Disgrace. Here's the B theory. A lot of people ask me about her B theory before I show you the video of today, where she's just like cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. I mean, just lost the plot. Here it is. Here's the B theory, the cult B theory of who assassinated. Besides the Jews and the FBI, the U.S. government, and Erica Trump, and TPUSA, and Benjamin Netanyahu, the B cult. Here it is. Bobby Richardson donated $21.10. Oregon still loves you, Matt. Love you. We love you too. Here is the B cult.
There at first was a elementary school shooting at a Catholic school, and I was just concerned in a way that I had never felt so impacted. And I was going, something isn't right. Something is just not right. And I felt that there was some sort of an infiltration that was happening at schools. And best way that I can describe it in a sentence is that I sensed that the danger wasn't stopping there and that more was coming, and that I needed to take a look at just the process of hiring people at the school that my children were going to attend. And I did just a cursory online search, and some messages I found, which were not written by a teacher at the school, but someone who was adjacent to some teachers at the school, gave me pause for concern. In fact, explicitly what it was a Polish underground symbol, like a Polish communist underground symbol that nobody would have recognized outside of people who know what it meant. And I just sort of went, okay, that's weird. I kept looking online, and I came across what looked to me like a bunch of people talking about bees. You're going, like literally bees, in a way that's the only way I can describe it to you is like they were speaking about bees, but they weren't speaking about bees. It was very coded. And I'm going, am I going crazy? Or do you think that all these people are really actually, quote unquote, bee farmer?
The next time you ask yourself that question, the answer is with no equivocation, yes. Am I crazy? Crazier than a shithouse rat, lady. You are the Black Alex Jones. But Alex Jones is occasionally right. Megyn Kelly is frustrating the hell out of me too, but here's the
or saying that they farm bees. What is this lingo that I'm not understanding? Why do I feel like it's related to students? I didn't feel good about it at all. And I just sensed, and for some reason, I feel like there is an underground that has emerged at schools, and it's like related to bees. That's what I said. And I messaged multiple people about this, my sister, and I was just frantic about it. And we made the decision that we needed to homeschool immediately. The Tuesday night, the night before Charlie got assassinated, I had book club, and I felt like I needed to emphasize to people in book club that it was time to take their kids out of school. Like, take your kids out of school. Danger is happening right now. And I'm going to show you a clip. Obviously, this is all behind the paywall of what I said.
Okay, so there you go. There's the B call. And I'm not playing another 2 minutes of that crap. I'm just not doing it. I'm not doing it, but I will show you this. Candace Owens is now blaming Trump. Trump killed Charlie Kirk. Donald Trump's administration, Donald Trump killed Charlie Kirk. Here it is. Folks, 30-minute clock is up. We're at 1:44. We're halfway there. All I need is a miracle. All I need is you. Like, I have a better chance of hitting gold than Mondani has of losing. I hope. So we're $150 down. Let's see what we can do. Appreciate it. I don't want to put anyone in stress. But it's given when you can give. That's it. If it's easy to do and you're like, hey, tonight's the night, great. If not, then whatever. Here it is. Good. Enjoy this. Remember, you guys wanted her as vice president. Remember when everyone said to me, Candace Owens, vice president, she's perfect. Remember that. And what did I tell you? You guys have lost the plot. There is no way that this woman should be vice president. I would vote for Nikki Haley before I would vote for Candace Owens. I would absolutely put Nikki Haley in front of Candace Owens. And I don't even particularly like Nikki Haley. I liked her policy on abortion, and she would have brought Trump the election if he did not change his abortion stance. He did. And remember, I was the guy that said 13 months before the election, Donald Trump and the Republicans need to change their stance on abortion. They need to put the Family First bill forward and the abortion clause bill forward and get this pushed through. And they need to change the conversation outside of abortion. Trump realized that too. When Lewandowski came on, he told him, you need to go ahead and take Nikki Haley's stance on abortion. He did. He changed his entire abortion stance to Nikki Haley's stance. And guess what? The polls changed. So here is Nick Gray Dawn Music Production. Subscribe. Thanks. Here's Candace Owens, who should wear makeup more often. Here she is. Listen to this. This is bullshit. It's just everything she says is complete shit.
Just really needed to just take a breather and really process everything that happened with Charlie and what it kind of means in terms of where we are. And I think it is a circumstance where we just know.
She is going to milk this thing until Charlie is completely sucked dry. She is going to milk this. I wish Erica Kirk would come out and just say, hey, Candace, will you please shut the fuck up? That would be gorgeous.
Know that he was truly betrayed. in one of the most egregious ways that I think I've ever seen. It has made me lose faith in politics. It has made me fully lose faith in Trump. And my heart aches for the fact that he gave so much of his life to Trump and to politics. And they just were like, nope, that is it. It serves us or it doesn't serve us, and we want to move on. And so here's a holiday. Bro, if they try to give me a holiday, what is with them giving people a holiday after they kill them? Why is that a thing? You know what I mean? Like, oh, Martin Luther King, what about this holiday? What about this boulevard? Anyways, let me knock off. Like, they're going to give Charlie Kirk a boulevard. They already did. They did in Israel. They gave him freaking boulevard. It's like, as soon as they give you a boulevard and a holiday, they definitely killed you. Okay, there's no question. They killed you. There's no way. That's like their signature thing. It's like that's what they do. It's the Fed signature. It's how they sign off after they murder you. They're like holiday and a boulevard. And it's never on a nice side of town either. Like Charlie Kirk Boulevard is not going to be a nice side of town. Anyways, I will be back on the 27th, you guys. Thank you guys for all the support throughout these couple of weeks, these last really kind of 6 weeks since Charlie died. And we will see you guys then.
I haven't taken a vacation in 5 years. I haven't missed a show for more than, 1 or 2 nights? 5 years I haven't taken a vacation. I have been doing this 5 years, and I pretty much do it 6 days a week from about 6 a.m. till about 11 or 12 every night. I don't take time off. If you're going to be able to do this and do this type of thing and talk about these things and become knowledgeable, you have to be a studious learner. She doesn't. She just gets all her shit written. Go out there and find the craziest shit you can find so I can spew it. She's nuts. I would love to debate Candace Owens. I will put it out there. And everyone's like, Matt, why are you punching down? She's not GOP. She's not a Republican. She's the enemy. That woman is the enemy to truth. And I can't stand her. I don't care. She's just like Marjorie Taylor Greene. I told you about MTG. I told you about Candace Owens. I warned you. You didn't listen to me. Here you are. CJ Jenkins donated $51.99. Thank you for all that you do. No, CJ, thank you for always helping the show. I appreciate y'all. But I told you about these people a long time ago, that MTG was a grifting son of a bitch, that she was not a Republican. She was not conservative. She was an opportunist. Because I exposed her records on what she made from Kevin McCarthy. We showed you those episodes. I showed you how she backbit Trump on many occasions, and I told you it was a matter of time that once Trump was almost done, she was going to flip the script, that she was going to jump from the GOP and make herself an independent so she could be a swing voter. Like Murkowski. That's what she wants. Like McCain, she wants to be that pivotal point. She wants to be at the center of attention. She tried to do it with the Freedom Caucus, but the Freedom Caucus got sick of her. This is not about me breaking down Republicans. This is me telling you, you're listening and following people who are full of shit. And when Marjorie Taylor Greene went up there and said, the Jews have space lasers that started the Lahaina fire, if at that point you weren't like, okay, I'm done listening to her, then God, I can never reach you. The moment that she said it was a bee cult, the moment that she said Eric Kirk killed Charlie Kirk, the moment she's now blamed Trump, and you still listen to Candace Owens go, yeah, but Matt, she can be wrong about some things. Why can't she ask questions? These aren't questions. This is certifiable nuts, psycho, estrogen-laden woman who is completely postmenopausal or premenopausal, and nuts. She's not premenopausal. She's postpartum. That's what it is. Marjorie Taylor Greene most assuredly is just taking too many roids. Stay away from the rabbit holes. Stay away from this endless bullshit. It's lies. Catch them lying about one thing. Why do you think I've been telling you for how many years? Just find them lying once. And when you find them lying once, you got them. Why do you think I'm bulletproof? Because I don't lie to you. I don't bullshit you. I tell you what I've done. I tell you what I don't do. I tell you what I believe. I tell you what's real. There's a difference between what's real and what you believe. Have your receipts. 321,171. We've had a couple things go viral. We're doing well. Am I better than Candace Owens? Yes. Yes, I am. Because I don't lie to my audience for grift clicks. It's behind the paywall. Yeah, go figure. Woman's psycho. She's going to burn everybody down. Everybody. It's got to stop. Tucker Carlson. went to a Charlie Kirk TPUSA style event and was a speaker. And he's getting a lot of blowback for this. Now, I'm going to defend Tucker Carlson. He's not Charlie Kirk. He never was Charlie Kirk. There's really nobody like Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk, through Christianity, was able to humble himself and articulate based upon self-learning, self-education, was a self-made man, which helped him sell his ideas because they were genuine and authentic. That is Charlie Kirk. And he did it with a casual demeanor that made him likable and made him affable. I gotta do something with this cable. My ADD's kicking in. Means I'm tired. $196 to goal, folks. We gotta hit it. Gotta hit it. So Charlie Kirk was a one of a kind. Tucker Carlson is not Charlie Kirk. Tucker Carlson is in your face. And just like me, there's a point that I have a limit. Like, I'll listen to people and I'll be calm. People are like, God, Matt, you have the patience of a saint with people sometimes. Yes, I do. And then there's a limit. And then I'm just like, okay, that's it. You're done. And it happens upon occasion. Like the guy who called in last night, the Julian guy. I apologized to him. Hey, I'm sorry for banning you. I made a mistake, blah, blah. I thought you were this guy. Please accept my apology. And then he comes on and he starts busting my balls. And I'm like, dude, are you here to apologize or bust my balls? Because he told me to F off. And he goes, a little bit of both. I'm like, okay, then F you, you're done. That is the way it works with me. Occasionally, you're going to cross that line, and I'm going to let you know, and then we'll get back to civility. Tucker Carlson has no problem telling you to go shove it where the sun doesn't shine. And people are saying, oh my God, Tucker's lost it. What's happened to him? You know what? He's sick of punks. He's not on a leash from Fox News anymore. He doesn't have an agent who's pulling his strings. He's free to say what he wants. He made his own network, TCN, and he's going to tell people how he feels. Good for him. I don't agree with the shit that he says, and I think he's an anti-Semite, and I think he pawns for Russia and Qatar, but it doesn't matter. At least he's honest with what he believes. Here's the video that everyone's flipping out about. Everybody. Oh my God, Tucker Carlson's flipping the other side. Maybe he should stop talking about his dad. His dad worked for the CIA. Who gives a shit? Do you know how many people in this business work for the intel communities? I worked for the intel communities. Does that mean I'm a Fed? I'm a Fed now? Really? This is all just a big act. I check in every day and I got my FBI handlers over there and I'm just like, got them, guys. We got them. CIA is over in that corner. Is that what it is? You guys are so stupid.
I don't understand it because it makes no sense. Like, you're worth $50 million.
I'm not worth $50 million.
30 to 50.
Get off the fucking internet, son. Don't stop believing that stuff.
Oh.
$50 million?
Go back to cable news.
Sorry.
No, but I'm just, look.
Okay, you're too annoying. You're too annoying. So I like the last chick who disagreed with me, and then we could have a normal conversation.
All right.
But you're telling me you're worth $50 million. What? Stop.
Okay, you got real defensive there. I just read a number that's a lot of money. Jesus Christ, calm down.
Don't use that phrase.
You're worth.
We're done.
Well, look.
Just stop.
Can I say one?
No, you can't. Not after you say that. Leave.
All right. I don't understand it because it makes.
Good. You know what? I watch these little sniveling little shits. And you know what? I used to be one of you. I remember when my hair was on fire and I thought I knew everything and I had the cool cut and I had the t-shirt wrapped up with the cigarettes in it and the chain out of my pocket and wearing my Doc Martens and listening to Social Distortion, Raging Arb and the Redheads. I remember the days. I remember when I was cool. I had sideburns, man, and all the chicks would look. Then I had a switchblade in my pocket and I thought I was a 1950s sick boy in the 80s and 90s. I also remember when I was a goober and a dweeb, and I used to get beat up too. Jonathan Nicholson, $1. Thanks, Jonathan. Better than nothing. I appreciate you doing that for us. Even $1. Those mean the most to me because those people, they give whatever they can, and that means the world. Thank you. Or you think I'm just worth $1, and that's okay too because at least it's something. That means the world to me. Thank you. But I remember what it was like to be cool. Now, my kids tell me I'm no longer cool. I think I'm cool. I'm a cool dad. I'm a good dad. Isaac Castillo, $20. Thank you, Isaac. Love you, buddy. How the heck is Candace making Alex Jones more palatable? Also, no on Prop 50 in California. Amen. So I remember what I was like. I had my Ray-Bans. I remember. Okay? I know. And at some point, I no longer became cool. I think I'm a cool dad. I play video games. I love sports. I'm hip with the music now today. I let my kids get away with a lot and let them kind of be adults. I consider myself a good dad. And most of my children's friends go, your parents are so cool. We are cool. Did I have a mullet? Oh, no, I had a mullet in 8th grade because of MacGyver. But sick boys don't have mullets. They have actually just fades predominantly. Hair slicked back. Anyway, so I get it. I'm not cool anymore. I'm old. I'm considered old. 51 years old, and I'm old. I like to think I'm youthful. I like to think that I enjoy young things. I work out. I take care of my body. I eat right. My wife and I have a healthy appetite and a sex life. So all those things, I don't consider myself ready for the grave, but my kids think I'm old. But these little pricks like Dean Withers and Harry Sasan and Nick Fuentes, you guys think you're so fucking special. Sorry for my language. You're just like me. And I will tell you, I knew shit when I was your age, and you don't know anything now. And you guys regurgitate stuff that we've already processed as adults, and we listen to your just constant pontification and bravado and this small peen energy. You're punks. You got pube like 6 years ago. You're babies. You don't know anything. You've achieved something great. But here's the thing. You have millions of followers, and that's a wonderful accomplishment. It really is. It's not easy. I'm 51 years old. Can you imagine how good I have to be just to get 320,000 people to follow me? And I'm 51, and this is not a young man's game, or this is a young man's game now. So there's got to be a reason. Talent doesn't necessarily guarantee success, but your disrespect and disregard for older people is just as flippant and just as abrasive as when I was a kid. But the difference is there was always a modicum of respect, and sir and ma'am were always precluding my statements. You guys don't have any respect. And the problem is because nobody's knocked your dick in the dirt. So when Nick Fuentes, the only way you get to these guys like Dean Withers and Nick Fuentes is you say, I'm going to knock your dick in the dirt. And then, oh, you're going to beat me up? Yes, I'm going to physically grab you and pummel the shit out of you if you disrespect me or my wife one more time. I'm going to teach you what old man strength is all about. And I'm going to slap a little respect across your beak because I had to have it done to me, and it was done in the military. What these kids need is they don't need someone to cuss at them and like Tucker, because they win. They're like, oh, I got him. I cooked him. Oh, look at me. He lost control. Tucker Carlson would grab that little shit and bounce him across the room, and I guarantee he wouldn't be talking shit anymore. You know, he'd do, stop, man, leave me alone, I'm calling the police. Oh, not so tough anymore. That's because these kids haven't had any sweat equity in what they've done. I'll give Nick Fuentes credit. They canceled his money. They've tried to cancel him. They've done everything they can to put their boots on his neck. Yeah, but there's a different kind of tough. That's a mental toughness. You don't have physical toughness. You have no idea what it is. So before you start lapdogging and talking shit to somebody, you better know that there's going to be a time and a place where somebody breaks your nose. And I'm sure you'll sue them into oblivion. But back in our day, these old guys would realize that when we got our dicks knocked in the dirt, we got back up, we rubbed the dirt off, rubbed the dust off, and usually maybe had a beer with that person, or we shook hands and we said it was good. We didn't go run to an attorney. The reason why you guys are so ostentatious and so disrespectful is because there's no freaking consequences for your lip. Slap a little respect on it. And I'll give Fuentes one thing. Out of all the guys, he'll give you respect if you respect him. But the moment you disrespect him and treat him like an inferior, he will freaking cut you. I got to give him respect on that. But Withers and Sasan and all these little punks you see all the time, they're nothing. They're nothing. And they're going to get torn down by their side just like everybody else. The next video with Tucker is also, this is a perfect example of what I'm talking about. You talk about his father, I don't care who you are. You talk about my family, you talk about my dad, I'm gonna knock your ass in the dirt. Oh, you're so tough, you're a tough alpha male. Stop projecting because you're a beta and you're weak. Just because I can do a push-up, just because I can go run 3 miles, just because I actually have some muscle on my body and I'm not a flabby little doughboy, it doesn't make you better. And it doesn't make me better than you. But it's your insecurity that's the problem. It's your little influencer bullshit that's the problem. You have a problem with ageism. You have a problem and think that old people don't understand things and they're not as woke as you. You're just as bad as the left. You guys think that somehow you're privy to anything that I can't find with a library card. You're just as bad as the elitists. Here's Tucker Carlson. Folks, we're at 2:17:16. We got 12 minutes. 12 minutes. Let's go.
So I kind of just don't see a lot of change between, the Biden administration and now the Trump one in foreign policy. We're still giving a shit ton of money to Israel and Ukraine. Nothing is happening. The war's not stopped. He promised it'd be done in a day, and it's, I don't know, how many months? 8 months or something like that. It's a long time. Your dad was in the CIA, and I was wondering, does our government even want war to stop? Do they want conflicts to end? It seems like we have a difference of interests where we're getting told one thing and the other is happening. And I feel like there's not enough communication between different sects of government. And I really think the deep state's controlling everything. We have
That's great. You're about to get a mouthful.
no control.
Well, let me start at, obviously, you probably sense that I agree with a lot of that. Obviously, leave my father out of it. I'm gonna have to kick your ass, which I could do, by the way, if you bring him up again, because he was a wonderful man, whatever he did for a living. So I really do hate that.
And of course, the liberals are, the liberal. There's very difference between the woke left and the woke right. Of course, they're flipping it. Oh, he's threatened him. He can't have a conversation. Tucker Carlson could out-talk your ass any day of the week. And what's hilarious is all you grew up on him. You grew up idolizing him. And now you have this in your head that he's a federal agent or CIA. You guys are idiots. Jonathan, nope, not a chance. Call in, Jonathan. I'll unban you if you call in. Call in. Don't be a coward. And I'll unban you. There's the phone number. Call in. Have a amicable conversation. Let's go ahead and atone for the things that you said and did. And we'll see what I can do. We'll go from there. But no, I'm not going to unban you. In fact, I'll just keep banning you. Must be getting into your head. See, the thing is that as petulant and turdish as you can be, I can do the same. Matt, the youngkins don't know about us Gen Xers. They can find out, though. Well, wouldn't that be nice if the youngins would find out? I don't have any problem with Tucker Carlson was saying it tongue-in-cheek, but don't talk about his father. I mean, what type of person are you? Really? I mean, that's what you do? Oh, well, I've got in your head. I'm in your head rent-free. They're so petulant and stupid. You know what I mean? This gentleman, this is a really interesting one because when you first see this video,
they're saying they're protesting.
Your first thing you see when you see this video is like, this guy's a liberal, and this is really important not to judge a book by its cover. And this is why I continue to watch people on the left, is because I never know when they're going to surprise me. And this guy does a great job. Kevin said, I banned J-Balls on Rumble. Good. If he wasn't a coward, then call in. Stop being a coward. All you do is sit here and snipe and you cause bullshit. You get banned because you're an idiot. I don't want your money, by the way. I'll refund that. So I don't need it. I don't need your money. But if you want to call in and go ahead and have a conversation and solve that trolling bullshit that you do, I'm not going to tolerate it. And what's great is that what's hilarious is other shows won't even give you the time of day. At least you get that acknowledgement. I mean, you're starving for it. You need that attention. Why mommy or daddy didn't hold you long enough, I don't know. But whatever that attention that you needed so desperately, you're trying to find it through me and live vicariously through me. You obviously are jealous. You obviously like me because you spend every night with me. And like most of my haters, you're more loyal than my best followers. So call in. But this is a really interesting one. I want you guys to listen to this and tell me what you think.
Kings. They're saying they're protesting kings, but they're the ones trying to overturn the will of the voters. Think about that. It kept happening over and over. Security guard of our building, one neighbor walking a dog. And I was just like, why would people want to go to that? The protesters call Trump authoritarian, but he's the one implementing the policies he was elected on. That's not tyranny. That's representative government. I get that you might not like what his agenda is, but it is literally what he ran on. And he won the popular vote. I think to try and remove that leader, that's the anti-democratic move. And I just support the president. I'm not saying I'm anti-protest ever, but it was very groupthinky. I didn't like the energy out there. So many people kept asking me, hey, did you go to the rally earlier? No. I realized that here in New York City, my opinion is unpopular. It was the cool thing to do here in my neighborhood, Chelsea. But I guess I'm a dork. They've convinced themselves they're standing up to power, when in reality, they're trying to undo a democratic process they just don't like the outcome of. Even if he's not for every policy that I would be for domestically, he's for sure every policy that I'm for foreign policy-wise. And I just feel that he's making the world safer with what he's doing in the Middle East. And domestically, I don't support mobs of left-wing people trying to say that Western civilization is bad and that our way of life is bad. I think our way of life is good. It's always shocking to me that I really align now with the conservative viewpoint, but it's like, I do. The transition is complete. So when people ask me, why didn't you go? I just skip the debate, because how do you explain that demanding the removal of an elected leader isn't the defense of democracy? It's the opposite. I don't want to get into it with them. I just kept it to myself.
There's ways to tell if something's AI, and it's really easy. And all you got to do is look at the inconsistencies in light and shadow, tone of voice. The writing on his jacket is absolutely position of pins. AI creates segments, and it's not powerful enough to do uncut scenes. And I work with AI all the time, and that's not AI. I will tell you this. Some of the greatest conversations I ever had growing up. I don't know his name. It's untagged. And I don't think he's a social media influencer. He's just some guy. And I will tell you that some of the best conversations, Mello donated $51.99. Thank you so much. $25 left to hit goal, folks. Would love to overdrive a little bit. We would love to do that. Thank you, Mel. We love you as always. I remember in Colorado, I lived in downtown Denver for a period of time right before I joined the Navy. And I lived in Capitol Hill. And Capitol Hill is predominantly gay. I mean, there's a shit ton of gay people. In fact, my roommate was gay and then straightened out. And he was just confused. Never hit on me or anything, but, it was just a place to live. It's where I was, and it was easy and close to the hotel that I worked at. And I learned a lot about the gay community. And this is probably where I get my appreciation for the gay community and lesbians. I don't have a problem with gays and lesbians at all, in any way, shape, or form. I'm not uncomfortable around them. I don't care if I still don't like seeing two guys kiss. It just bothers me. And it's because it's opposite of what I find attractive. Now people are like, well, are you okay with two girls kissing? Abso-fucking-lutely. But I'm attracted to women. And every guy's dream, we know, okay, we don't need to go into it. But I learned a lot about people, and I used to go down to a place called Paris on the Platte. And if you've ever seen the movie The Crow, this is what it was like. It was very dark. You could see down the roadway for like ever. And it was in the middle of an industry area, and it was safe back when I was there, but it was this beautiful, amazing, classic, quintessential antique coffee shop that had books, and you could go in there and you could leave a book and take a book. And it had an old brass espresso machine, and you would get large carafes of coffee. And you would go out there and smoke cigarettes or cigars or cloves. And it was a haven for punkers and socialists and fascists and Republicans, and everybody was there. It was all different genres of politics and religions and atheists and everything else. And if you've ever been to Denver, and you guys may have known, I don't think it's even there anymore, but Paris on the Platte was huge. And so I grew up debating there. And when I say grew up, I was 18. And it was really between the ages of like 19 and 21 that I was there. It was like 2 years. And I would debate socialists. I would debate communist socialists. I would progressive. I'd have religious conversations with Arabs and Jews and Orthodox. And it's really where I had my baptism into the debate world outside of what I did in high school and for Lions Club and stuff. But Paris on the Platte was an amazing thing. And they would have music out there, and it was kind of beatnik, but it wasn't hippie. I mean, there was conservatives who would go there in Oxfords and polos. It was a place that everyone could go. Black, Hispanic, Korean, Muslim, didn't matter. And it was a great environment. And I loved it there. I really did. And guys who look like that were there, and they don't bother me. I grew up with punkers. I grew up with punk rockers, Dead Kennedys and ska music, and like I said, Social D and Dead Kennedys, and I grew up with all types. I was friends with the goths. I was friends with the gangbangers. I was friends with the jocks, and I had the opportunity to really meet a very eclectic group of people. And I would encourage everybody, if you have not had the chance to really just listen to the other side occasionally. JD Stillwell, $10. Thanks for the show. Thank you, JD. I love you. Appreciate you very much. How are you doing on the dog hunt? Are you yet? Mel, how's your doggy too? But this is what I would encourage is like, you don't have to listen to everyone on the left. Once you've listened to them, just turn them off if you don't like what they're having to say. But honestly, there is so much you can learn from people by just hearing them talk. And it doesn't take much to find out where you agree versus where you disagree. And that's why I hate debate, because all it is you're trying to uncover where you disagree. But how about we just have a conversation and find out what we agree on, so we can find out if we like each other before we start having a conversation? Because listen, isn't it disingenuous for me to say, okay, Matt, Megyn Kelly could be on your show. Would you take Megyn Kelly on your show? Well, that depends. That depends on why Megyn Kelly wants to come on my show. Because even though I adore Megyn Kelly, even though I'm frustrated with her a little bit right now, and I think she's gorgeous and super smart and huge in this business, why does she want to come on? What's the angle? Because me wanting to go on her show obviously is because it benefits me, right? That's why I want to go, is I want to grab a portion of her audience. Is this why I went on the places that I go on and the shows that I go on? No. In fact, you may know I don't go on a lot of shows. I was on Dominic Izzo's show, but I don't go on a lot of people's shows. Why? Have you noticed that? Because I don't go on people's shows for clicks. I don't go on people's shows to get exposure. I go on people's shows because I'm generally interested in talking to that person. So if you asked me, would I go on Mike Rowe? Yes. And I'd go on Mike Rowe because I'm generally interested in Mike Rowe. And I know why he would want me on his show is because Mike Rowe would have a general interest in me, and that's the only way he would have me on his show. But I don't know why Megyn Kelly wants me. Does she want me on her show to blow me up? Is there something I said that she wants to expose me for? Maybe there's some expertise that I have that she wants to hear my side. I don't know why. And she may never ask me, but I am going to decide based upon, do I like this person versus is this beneficial for my career? And I love that about Damani. He didn't go on Tim Pool because it would just be beneficial for his career. He went on Tim Pool because he generally felt that he could contribute something to the show. But this is why I don't spend a lot of time on other shows and I'm on my own. But a lot of people come on our show because I take a general interest in them and I want to bring them on because they're interesting people. Not because I want to garner clicks from them. Not because I want to go ahead and take something from them. I want to give something to them. This is why I had T.S. Dixon on. This is why I had Barry on. This is why I had Lisa Regina on. This is why I have Jack on. And this is why I have Barry on. This is why I have Damani on and Nunn and anyone else. Because I have an interest in them. So what I'm trying to say is take some time. I know you might see Democrat, but you could be missing something really beautiful about a person. You know? You really could. And to me, that's important. Super important that we continue to do that. And if they're just complete yucks, well, then kick them to the curb. But give them a chance. Because if we're going to get through this, that's the only way we're going to do it. John Fettermen, I told you about Fettermen a while ago. And John Fettermen sat with Dave McCormick. And John is, I don't think he's going to be a Republican, but he is breaking away from the shackles of the Democrat Party. Folks, $284.15. We are $16 away. Would love just to crush this damn thing and go. I want to go watch the Avalanche play. They're going to be playing here in a few minutes. They're wearing their new jerseys. I'm really excited. And I would love just to crush this damn thing and move on. So if we could do that, that'd be great. Otherwise, I'm going after this. So John Fettermen is in front of the Capitol building, and he had this to say, and I thought this was great. And he does this more often than not now. It's nice to know I was right about this guy. It really does. It makes me feel good that when he had his stroke, I told people to leave him alone and just listen to him because he's a blue-collar type guy. He's a blue-collar Democrat, blue dog Democrat, and he's not a bad human being. And he certainly isn't. Listen to this.
Here we are in Washington, D.C., and it is shut down. But now here, it's both Pennsylvania's voice here in the U.S. Senate, even though we are in a different party. And we both want to talk about why we believe it's so important to reopen this government.
23 days, 12 votes. Senator Fetterman and I have both voted to open up the government. We agree on that 100%. It's really starting to hurt Pennsylvania. And Pennsylvanians, air traffic controllers, border patrol, and also 2 million recipients of SNAP. We've got to get the government open. That's our main responsibility. And I'd say that regardless of what party's in the majority.
So I think our votes are about country over party at this point. Now we have 2 million Pennsylvanians that rely on SNAP. That's gonna stop. And now you can reopen this government and have an earnest conversation about extending those tax credits. No, we know we're gonna participate in this process. That's why we both vote to open up our government. We're in a different party. We're on the same team for Pennsylvania and our nation.
Pennsylvanians expect it. Pennsylvanians deserve it.
Listen, this is the way it used to be. Claude says, I think they're grooming Fetterman for POTUS. Listen, I don't think the Democrats are very fond right now of Fetterman, and I don't think the Republicans trust him either. And I would just say that there's times, even though someone can be talented, that they've reached their climactic point of potential. And I think John Fetterman doesn't have the potential to do much more than what he's already doing. And that's not to knock him. I just don't see him being presidential. But I do see that he is somebody who stands on principle and it doesn't resonate with me that he can be bought. And I like that. I don't care about the hoodies. Honestly, I know that bothers people. It doesn't bother me. There's a time to dress up. And yes, I think if you're in session, you should dress up. But if you're out walking in the Capitol, just, I don't know. I grew up with ties and always dressed for the occasion. I'm with you. If I was going to go on somebody's show, you guys have seen me when I dress up for election night or I go do photographs. I do a suit, but I'm in a thermal right now. I'm in a $19 Amazon Basics thermal. And why? Because it's really comfortable. And I'm in board shorts, flip-flops, board shorts, and a thermal and a Don't Unfriend Me hat. Does that make me any less profound or any less of an intellectual? No. But it's just like the hat with Sliwa. You should dress the part. And I wish Fettermen would and he does put on a suit when he's in session, and that's good. But I agree with you. There is something you've got to, if you want to be taken seriously, you've got to act the part. Anyway, I'm going to go. You guys do such a great job for us with donations, and you always take care of us. And we don't have to hit it every night. This is one of those nights where honestly I wasn't even going to come on. But I feel that loyalty to you guys, and I feel like I want. Oh, see, and there we go. Somebody hits it. Kat, thank you so much. You're a loyal follower. Yes, you are, Kat. We love you to death. Maybe tonight's ending is. Let me just put this and end it here. Thank you, Lois. Love you. You're the best. $20. Thank you, guys and girls. Thank you. It doesn't matter. No matter what I do, you guys always hit it. I love you for it. Thank you. There are people who you admonish in the other party simply because they have the D in front of their name, and there's people who you are fervently loyal to have an R in front of their name, and neither one of those two people deserve what you're giving them. Bobby, 2110, go hockey. I'm getting off. Thank you. I love you, Bobby. I think you gotta open up your mind a little bit. And just because they have Republican in their name doesn't mean they're good. And just because they have a D in front of their name doesn't mean they're bad. There are people in our own party right now who are truly evil. And there's people over on the Democrat side who are also evil. And then there's good in both too. And I think we need to start judging people on the basis of their character. To quote a very intelligent man who was also flawed, inexorably flawed to a point of devastating if it came out during those times. But he is who he is. But it's a good point of judging people by their character. And there's a lot of people who have great character on the other side. And we just need to give a second and listen to what they have to say. Even to the point of creating a relationship because you allowed them to say it. You know what I mean? I'm going to get going. Appreciate you guys so much. I'm back on tomorrow, Friday night. It's Red Friday. Yeah, Claude, you're absolutely right. That's what I said. We should wear jerseys. Claude, that's a really good point. True politics has become a team sport. Also, my pastor said this, a religion. It really has. Fervently defending no matter what it is. And if you don't believe what I believe in, you're castigated out. We're going to talk about that on Tuesday. You guys really got to be there. It's going to be a great show. Hey, I thought it was a good show too. I always like solos. I don't like doing them because I'm alone and I'm alone all day, and I miss my wife and family. But this room is cozy and I love it, but I'm in it a lot. But those solo shows kind of brings us back to our roots when I did the shows alone, and I like it. I like the flow. I don't like having to give my opinion off. I get into a rhythm. I don't like handing it off to other people sometimes. I want to take it. But that's just me. I want the football. I've always wanted the football. Rob, you're lucky. I'm going to ban you the next time I see you, but not tonight. Good night, everybody. Thanks for watching the Don't Unfriend Me show. Thank you for letting us hit goal. We'll talk to you soon. Good night.
Adjusting transmitter output.
This is the Don't Unfriend Me show with your hosts, Matt, Leroy, Amy, and Olivia. Geopolitics, military analysis, and election coverage. Coming to you live on all major social media channels at The Dumb Show. Honest, direct, unfiltered. We can agree, we can disagree. Just don't unfriend me.